Welcome, my beautiful souls, and welcome, my gorgeous Aquariuses, to a special reading for you. Um, I am someone who reads through my spirit guides, who connect to your spirit guides, and I can often feel when a sign needs just a little extra help through the month. Um, And it's interesting because I did Scorpios and I had a lot of people reach out who have Aquarius's moon as, or their moon in Aquarius. What am I trying to say? Um, and your moon is really where your emotions lie. So it's interesting. But, and then I also had probably about 20 comments and emails asking for a little extra help. So that's why I'm here today to see what does Aquarius need to know? Are there any signs that you're missing? There's a few words I just want to go over with you. When I'm pre-shuffling your cards, which I always do, it's really just when I'm meditating on your sign, and I got a few words: realign, release, and return to self, emotional depth, intuitive wisdom, and spiritual clarity. So now I also feel that, and this may be planetary, I'm not really sure, but I feel May 15th, May 18th, I feel like everything's going to start, like if you're going through, let's just say, some deep things right now. I feel like love might be difficult right now. Um, and by the way, I feel if you're single, let's say from the 15th on, I feel like this would be a great time to go out and mingle. Where? A bar? Well, I don't go to a bar, Sandy. You don't have to go to a bar. You could go somewhere and instead of ordering your coffee, sit down and drink your coffee, like right there. I just have a feeling you never know who you're going to meet. Um, Go to the library, get a book, sit somewhere, and just, first of all, I feel like do things that make you happy because if you're going to meet someone, and again, let's say you're in a library and you love to read, I'm saying a library, it could be a bookstore, um, then that means that they also love that. So I just have a feeling like you're going to come across the right person at the right time. But I do feel like it's because you're listening to your intuition. I'm not saying like go to the library and just sit there and wait. If it's I feel like this is the type of energy that and it's interesting because I've been doing a lot of past life readings lately, not on purpose. It's just how, like, I just did a soulmate reading and it went back to a past life, and it related to the past life reading so well. I did a pick a card reading, same thing. So I just have a feeling those who are looking for that special person, a soulmate, um, a twin flame. Well, I don't know. Twin flame is like a journey all of itself. But anyways, I feel like it feels very good for you. I feel there's an existing relationships that as time, let's say I feel like probably the 18th going on, just think about like what you're saying. Because remember, this is a time where I feel like the most important words I got were realign, release, and think that we just had the Scorpio full moon, which is all about transformation. It is all about letting go. And we're in this universal year 9. It is that last year of a 9-year cycle. So What is it we want to bring along? The full moon in Scorpio is the perfect energy to release just whatever is no longer serving you. Some of you may have been in, this may be why I'm doing this reading, like in that reflection, and you may not be sure what to do. I feel like your soul is probably sure, but maybe you're not sure. So, anyways, this is why I'm doing your reading today, to give you a little helping hand. Just going to take a drink of my coffee. Um, oh, by the way, so this will be for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising. And again, I want to remind you, I think it's always a good idea to check out your moon sign, and your rising, because this is really where your emotions lie. This is the inner you, like that inner child. The sun's kind of what you show the world, what you want to produce in the world, that type of thing. The clothing you decide to wear that day. Um, Even how you present yourself. So, yeah. And I do feel like I'm reading for um a lot of people who have their moon in Aquarius. Okay, enough talking. Let's go ahead and begin your reading. So we're just going to do this like well, it's going to be a full reading. Um but I feel like it has to be. It should be. All right, so we will give Mother Mary the honor of opening up the reading. We will use the Gilded Tarot to clarify and go deeper. I am going to use the major arcanas in your reading. Why not? Give us even more clarity. And for your main spread, I'm going to use the light seers. It's interesting because I had another deck in mind, but this, like, it's like my spirit guides are like, use light seers. Like I had another deck, and it's just weird. I was shuffling and cards were like it just didn't feel like they wanted to be in my hand. Well, now I understand why. So we're going to use the light seers for your main spread. So let's go ahead and bring the lid down. And we're going to start with Mother Mary. Again, Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising. Definitely those intuitively guided. You do not have to be a certain sign for a reading to mean something to you. You could have Aquarius somewhere in your chart. You could certainly be in love with an Aquarius, platonically, romantically. Just know that your guides know that you're here. So, even though this may be their reading, chances are the messages will be for you. Okay, let's begin. Mother Mary. Okay. Normally, my rule is they have to come to the table, but just the way they felt in my hands, like, this is them. All right, we got two. Let's see. Truth. Truth. I am lovingly honest with myself and others. I am lovingly honest with myself and others. Oh my. Hello, love. Right from Mother Mary herself. Love. Love is the answer to all of my questions. Truth first. So, I have a feeling this may be a small little message on its own, like being very truthful with oneself, probably as it relates to love. Are you receiving in love? If you're in love, is it truthful, open, and honest? I feel like it's going to mean different things for different people, but I kind of love truth before love because it's your truth And it's you being truthful with others, but in a loving way. So that kind of makes sense that love would be connected. We'll put those right there. All right, let's bring in the major arcanas. Give them a shuffle. Again, everything's pre-shuffled, but I do like to give them a shuffle with you here also. Number one, I feel like it erases any doubt because sometimes, most of the time, and I've been reading tarot, connecting to my guides for so many years now that what was my point? I forget what my point was. I think that's a sign of old age. All right. Judgment, your spiritual team calling you to the present moment. The Emperor looking right over a Judgment. Card of Aries. I don't know why I'm not putting them in order yet. So Judgment's calling you to the present moment. That means there's about to be some type of rebirth. That makes sense when Scorpio was the full moon, which is about transformation. But this is calling you to the present moment. The Emperor. This may be someone coming into your life. And if it is, this is someone that I feel like you can look up to. The Emperor is someone who, has gone through a lot himself, but has overcome, not only overcome, but now knows how to help others overcome. This is someone who is very compassionate and empathetic, but for some reason I get this feeling, and I'm only feeling this in your reading, where this could be someone who is compassionate and empathetic, but also I feel like their strength and showing that strength feels important to them. And I don't mean that in an egotistical way at all. This is someone who's very methodical, puts plans in place, the leader of people. I often feel this can talk about business ownership for some of you. Like you being the boss, you being the leader. This may be the perfect time. Like your spiritual team is saying, this is a perfect time for you to step into this role. Mm. Aries is a seed planter, and Judgment calling you to the present moment. First of all, that means there's going to be signs. So that should comfort you a little bit, that your spiritual team is saying that we are going to send you signs. They're in your present moment. They're not in the past. They're not in the future. They're right here, right now. Often I feel reading is a major sign, or sometimes many signs. I do like the Emperor following Judgment, because that's a strong character. By the way, also a father figure. All right. We have the High Priestess. Beautiful. Especially with Judgment here, who is saying they're going to send you signs. Well, this is your intuition. This is where you pick up those signs. You can see the signs outwardly, sometimes through numbers. Like you may see, like lately, like I always see 1111. But lately I've been seeing like 1, 2, 3, 4. combination. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, I've been seeing a lot. But anyway, and when I see these numbers, I take a second. What am I thinking about? Is there a reason why I'm seeing these numbers? I see birth dates all the time, to the point where I actually wish these people happy birthdays, even though it's not their birthday. But I see like birthdays. Um, the high priestess is your GPS to use in this lifetime, just like you would in your car. You're going to strange lands. What are you going to do? You're going to plug in the address. Help guide me there. Well, that's what the high priestess does. It feels like a version of your higher self. I love that there's like fairy dust all around her. Fairy dust. I have a feeling some of you, just that word feels like confirmation from your guide. Like, I feel like some of you may have asked your guides, which I hope you did, to give you signs of confirmation throughout this reading. Well, I feel like for some of you, that fairy dust it just feels like someone's confirmation, but it feels magical. It feels like magic. All right, let's bring in the light seers. Let's see why they had to be a part of this reading. All right, let's give them a cut. All right, let's begin. All right, we have 3 of Cups. Beautiful. That's the energy of joy. It's the energy of celebration. So your spiritual team is telling you that the signs that are coming in are leading to an actual celebration. It doesn't mean like I'm holding a party. But within your heart, I feel like you're celebrating. It is the energy of joy. And, love, hello. I'm not going to say it's love yet, but it's a good sign. All right, we have the Ace of Swords. Well, there's your truth that Mother Mary is asking for. I always feel like that's first and foremost with the Ace of Swords, your truth. But she feels like she's connecting to her guides. Like it literally looks like she's connecting to her guides. It's like she's hearing spiritual truth. And then I have a feeling she's going to do something with this, just as she was meant to. And I'm saying she could be he also. We have the Moon, card of Pisces, ruler of Cancer. It's also the feminine's energy coming under masculine energy. Well, hello, Four of Wands. My favorite love card. Four of Wands, they call it the marriage card. But to me, this is making a true commitment with someone that has a potential to last for the rest of your lives. So I feel like there is a love commitment coming up. Some of you may have been dreaming about this, and then it actually does manifest. There's that full moon. Interesting, because I felt like it's after, this is already after the full moon. But I feel like it was after Scorpio's full moon where things start to feel better and start to turn around. But again, that meant some type of transformation. Well, judgment is certainly helping you with that. We have the Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands is someone, but she's looking right back at the Four of Wands. Like, here's my person. Queen of Wands, I do feel like it's probably you. Um, unless you're a fire sign here, checking up on Aquarius. I feel like the majority of it's for you. And I just love her energy here. Number one, it's like she's raising above any drama. You can definitely see her vibration has been lifted. Well, that's because of her own work. This is someone who is definitely action oriented and passionate. And she's looking right over that Four of Wands. Hmm. I'm gonna slide these over just a little bit. I like them in the middle. That wasn't quite the middle. Okay. All right. Just keep going. Hello, lovers. Look at this image. Mm. Yummy, yummy, yummy. So, the lovers. Interesting, that Mother Mary sent out love. Now we have the lovers. We already have the marriage card or the commitment card. Judgment is telling us there's something that we're going to be celebrating. The high priestess, our intuition, is guiding us towards it. For some of you, the emperor is this other lover, and you are the other one. It's interesting because we do have masculine and feminine energy connected here. Um, though I do want to say, like many times, I'm more in my masculine energy than my feminine energy. Remember, we carry both. But the lovers, the meaning of the card is a head over heart decision. But I don't see anywhere where you're like trying to make a decision. I feel like it's just happening. Maybe that's why I was saying, like, instead of getting that coffee and take like a takeout coffee, sit down, like, drink your coffee in the shop, maybe take a little book along. You know what I mean? If you have that luxury of time. But what's coming above the lovers? Joy, celebration. We have the Page of Wands under the Ace of Swords. Interesting. I wonder if it's the younger queen. So, Page of Wands is my risk taker. This is someone who, they go by their whims. What excites me. I feel like this page has fallen, but this page really, I feel like their lesson is learning how to get back up again. And with excitement for what the future may hold. Interesting that we have the Page of Wands and the Queen of Wands with the lovers. So, you know. Okay. So now we have two pages back to back. Page of Pentacles, Page of Wands. Now, I know neither one is your sign, but just the way this is reading, first of all, just kind of forget about the signs because we all carry all this energy. We've all been the Page of Pentacles, we've all been the Page of Wands. Two pages right next to the Lovers. Feels like two younger energies connecting in present day moment. So, what I mean by that is I feel like younger, current, current. Let's keep going. This Ace of Swords may be communication. Look at this, Ten of Wands turned around. Perfect. Ten of Wands turned around. Ten of Wands. I really kind of love this image though. Because, Ten of Wands is a period of time of heavy responsibilities. It's a period of time where it feels like there's so much weight on your shoulders. It's backbreaking. But in this image, the reason why I love this image because it looks like someone is leaving a mountaintop. Like I climbed that mountain, but now that mountain is barren. So it's time to head on to the next mountain. She's literally taking what she can carry. But the weight of the world is falling off her or his shoulders. It's changing your energy, but in the best of ways. This could be someone who can really give you a helping hand at the same time. We have the Queen of Cups under the Queen of Wands, interesting. And with the Queen of Cups, oh my gosh, came the Empress. So, why am I saying oh my gosh? Because I love it when the Emperor and the Empress are in the same reading, especially if it's talking about love. This means that this is talking about two people who, I hate to say the word work, but let's just say has reflected over their lives. This is about two people who are finding clarity. The Empress is someone who is very loving and nurturing, but through her experiences, she's gained so much strength, courage. So I never worry that the Empress is going to make the wrong decision. Interesting also that she's coming over this queen. And this queen's got this necklace on with a key. And I have a feeling this key may unlock this next door. We have the mother and the father, the masculine and the feminine. Again, the feminine and the masculine. No wonder the Ten of Wands is in reverse. I'm not going to say it happens immediately. I guess it depends on where you're at right now. But I do feel like, be bold within your choices this month, not just this month, let's say the rest of the year. Like, be bold, like, take chances. And I know, just like the Page of Wands, that not all chances pay off. But if you feel like you're in the Empress's energy, then very quickly you would know. So, it's interesting because there's nothing of fear on the table, which makes me very happy. Doesn't mean that you automatically like automatic. Well, I do feel like automatically it puts this sense of joy in your heart You may not express it immediately, but I feel like you won't be able to deny it. Again, it looks like the Empress is taking a nap. And I feel, in a way, that's representing to some of you, not everyone, where you've been connecting, let's say, through your dreamland, your dream world. All right, it seems on the bottom of the deck, if I can pick it up. Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles to me is really a great energy. Just want to see what's below it. Oh, hello, Ace of Cups. And below that is the Tower. So I feel like a tower must have happened, probably relating to love. But the Seven of Pentacles would tell me that there was something that you learned from it at the same time, or at least that was its purpose. Sometimes love relationships don't work out, but if we look at it with a different perspective, maybe they were the stepping stone to my real love. You know what I mean? Maybe they cracked open my heart chakra, which then invites in a higher vibrational love. The one thing I notice on this table is everyone seems to be in a pretty high vibrational energy. And that's a good thing. So the Empress mirroring the Lover is like, I have no problem with that at all. And do I feel like the Emperor is the other lover? I do. I feel like these queens are representation of the willingness to step into it. And the Queen of Cups, it's like allowing your emotions to enjoy it. Again, she's holding this key, and it's almost like she's unlocking a door. But yeah, Judgment, I feel, is the one who ultimately gave her this key. Symbolically, I feel like it's unlocking a door. You know, I feel like there's a lot of growth here. Page of Pentacles, though I do feel like for the majority, these two pages are also the lovers. But I feel like they also carry their own message. So the Page of Pentacles, it talks about a learning experience, like the things that you have learned from life. Well, that's exactly what the Emperor and the Empress are all about. Like taking what I have learned, examining it, not with judgment, so to speak, but for clarity. Maybe what can I do better? What have I given away? What do I need to reclaim? Both of them being such strong characters. And when I see the Seven of Pentacles, the first message with the Seven of Pentacles is patience. But with Judgment here, I feel like the time to be patient has come to an end. So, what I mean by that is we're moving into an action oriented energy. Seven of Pentacles, I also feel whatever has happened was meant to happen. And I know some people don't like that message, but I do feel like it's the truth. Whether it happened to teach, to help you evolve, sometimes it's as simple as I now know what I don't want in love or even in life. Using that full moon of Scorpio and the universal year 9, like really is asking you to know what you want. Doesn't have to mean you put a name to it, but I know the energy I want to live in. Judgment is like, well, we're here to help. Seven of Pentacles, it's like your tree of life. These are your soul seeds of intention. You can't really see it here. But when I see the Seven of Pentacles, I know that it means there's certain seeds ready to come to fruition. Seven's also a very spiritual number. All right, let's bring in the Gilded Chiron. Let's go deeper here. You know, if I was only reading it the way it is right now, I would say that some of you may be either proposed to or you're doing the proposing. And I'm going to say that I feel like 2026 has you in a beautiful committed relationship. It may be new, but it may be something that was old that's new again. All right. We're going to start at the beginning. By the way, I don't know if I said that the Lovers is also a card of Gemini. Um, all of a sudden I'm thinking, is Gemini your opposite? No, no, I don't think so. Something just made me take a peek. And, oh, look at that. There's a death card, Scorpio again. And I saw the Ten of Pentacles. So we'll see. All right. We have interesting Three of Pentacles coming over the Three of Cups, 33. By the way, 3 plus 3 equals 6. The Lovers is a 6. Now, Three of Pentacles is really one of my favorite energies because it really is your spiritual team telling you that you possess a lot of talent. Some of this talent you may not know about. Sometimes we find this talent when we're trying to overcome something. You know, I often feel like if I'm trying to overcome something, sometimes the best way of doing that is to refocus my mind, like find something that piques my interest and follow it. Because you never know, like it may open up a whole new life, relating also to what you do in the world. This is about celebrating your individuality because it's talking about other people celebrating it. Um, you know, this is someone admiring you for who you are and maybe even what you do. And it's interesting because with the Emperor and the Empress and the Three of Pentacles, it can be something that both of you do, singular, like on your own. That Three of Pentacles feels like a message also of how some may meet someone. So again, in your creative house. Okay, well, let's keep going. Well, hello, Nine of Pentacles. Beautiful. My friends, this is success. And I would expect nothing less from the Emperor or the Empress. The meaning of this card is successful self-employment. Now, it doesn't have to be self-employment, but you're the one who's reaping the benefits of your hard work. I love that it's following the Three of Pentacles because that's a very creative energy. That's you doing something that I feel like makes your heart sing. And then this is the success of it. Some of you may just start, you may be in the process of starting to see the fruits of your labor. Coming here with the Ace of Swords, like your voice, your truth. Some of you, you're speaking it, and maybe someone else is hearing it. Someone that you didn't expect. Because remember, in the Three of Pentacles, there's other people admiring you. It doesn't mean it's always said. I feel the day will come when it is said. All right, we have the Page of Pentacles again. And then we have Temperance. Look at Temperance. Beautiful Temperance coming over the marriage card. Temperance is all about divine timing. You have two energies that speak of patience first. But Judgment kind of trumps that, because Judgment is calling you to the present moment. Interesting, there's a 9 right below Judgment. So for some of you, it may speak about the end of one thing and the beginning of another. But this is happening in divine timing. I also want to say, with these 2 pages down here, some of you could have even gone to school together. Oh. All right. Temperance is also the card of Sagittarius, by the way. 4 of Swords. Beautiful. Healing. Rest. Rejuvenation. Feeling new. You know, if you are carrying any heartache around, and it has anything to do with anyone who, let's just say, isn't giving you what you deserve, you got to know that. Because this one sword down here, it's you. It's your life. It's your truth. And Mother Mary is asking you to be very truthful. But listen, this is about healing. This is healing past broken hearts, even a current broken heart. Some of you, it's like healing in your money. Like, honestly, I feel this is such strong energy, especially because I saw the Ten of Pentacles. It didn't come out. It might. But I'm happy with the Nine of Pentacles, because that's independent success. That's a type of success no one can take from you. You know, this is you earning your own money, but you're doing something that, you know, it just feels like you are so right for. And other people admiring what you do, again, may not be spoken right away, but I feel eventually it will be. And I wouldn't be surprised if, like, because I feel the potential of real success, but then there may be new ideas you get, new epiphanies that you can add to, let's say, an existing business, or epiphanies that help you come to a place of independence. You know, independence is freedom to me. Now, independence doesn't mean I'm by myself, unless I want to be, but just that energy of knowing that I can take care of me. I wouldn't be surprised if these lovers also help heal each other. Well, hello, Knight of Wands. So, the lovers ahead of a hard decision. Okay, well, I could see that fitting. But let's also remember the lovers, especially if we just look at the image, the chemistry, the passion. That's what this night brings in. And by the way, I feel like every night completes their mission, come hell or high water. Doesn't have to mean it's accepted, but I'm going to make you feel a certain way. I mean, undeniable chemistry. We had the Queen of Pentacles just shot across the table. You know, it's interesting because the Nine of Pentacles represents Virgo. And for some, you know, I feel like I just had to say that sign. But the Queen of Pentacles, you know, it's interesting because she's coming over the Page of Wands. So I feel like this is someone who's taken some real chances, like in his financial world within their career. You know, maybe making a bold move of deciding to work for oneself, you know, and Aquarius, you know, I feel like much like me, I'm a Virgo sun. Um, like there is nothing better than working for yourself. And I feel like you carry that same energy. You know, you are freedom loving. I also feel like temperance is saying to some of you who have been going through, let's just say, difficult times, a period of time where, again, it kind of feels like the weight of the world had been on your shoulders. Well, temperance comes out, the Ten of Wands is in reverse. So I feel like that's coming to an end. And it's all happening in divine timing. So what does that really mean? Because I know a lot of people are like sick and tired of hearing, oh, in divine timing. It means when you're truly ready. It means, well, I mean, if we just look at the Emperor and the Empress and Mother Mary saying love, well, who could love better than the Emperor and the Empress? They are so like minded, but they're also very different. But they have the same goals in mind, like the same morals, the same goals. I can see some of you starting a family, or there could be blended families coming together. We have the Three of Wands. Beautiful. So, all these threes you're getting are really beautiful energies, right? Three of Cups, joy, celebration. Three of Pentacles, all about your individuality and that being celebrated. Even the Four of Swords mirroring that. You know, it's like, doctor, heal thyself, and then heal others. Three of Wands is the energy of optimism. Three of Wands is doing exactly what Judgment is asking you to do, keeping yourself in the present moment, knowing that anything is possible. You know, if you just like know Sam and I's love story and how it came together, you know, some would call that impossible. I mean, we didn't live in the same state anymore, but we were young lovers. That doesn't sound right, but we were. But anyways, the Three of Wands is what you're doing is really giving any worry, anything over to divine, and you're saying, I trust. I trust that my ships, my blessings will come in right when they're meant to. And in the meantime, I'm just going to be grateful for today. I'm going to find things to be optimistic about. Even if one thing's not working out, Well, something else is probably working out, so I'm going to put my focus there. We have, interesting, the Five of Swords over that reversal of the Ten of Wands, so happy to see that go. But look at that, the Ten of Wands again. Well, I guess what I want to say is just be careful. So when I see the Empress, I feel like I don't have to tell you to be careful because I already know you will be. But sometimes, I find, when I say sometimes, but I find this happens often. Um, we leave someone, we end a situation, or they ended it. But it is showing the toxicity that was connected to it. I feel like just be careful you're not repeating a pattern that, listen, first of all, you know what put those wands on your back. So be careful not to repeat that. Because sometimes, especially like a narcissist energy, who they had you, but then didn't treat you well. So you go, and yet it's like they want you, but they don't want to they don't want to put in the effort. Like they want their cake and eat it too. So you decide enough is enough. You move on. You definitely have had a lot of spiritual growth. Well, a lot of times a narcissist doesn't want to see you happy. So they may make a repeat appearance. But I have to say, I'm not that worried. I'm a little worried, but I'm not that worried. Because I feel like the Empress would see it immediately and be like, baby, I already got over you. You're yesterday's news. Ciao. Let's go underneath it also. Ciao, baby, ciao. Well, hello, Will. Hello, Destiny. I mean, come on. Right over the Lovers. Knight of Wands, right above it. Seven of Pentacles definitely would talk about destiny, right? Because again, these are your seeds. Judgment is like, well, guess what? One or maybe two of those seeds are coming to fruition. Think of the tree of life as like an apple tree. An apple's becoming ripe. Let's pick it. I'm not going to pick the ones that aren't ripe. Well, this Five of Swords and that Ten of Swords, that's a rotten apple. So we'll just get rid of that. With the Four of Wands. Four of Wands to me is about one's foundation. And let's just put it this way. I feel like anytime we start something new, whether it be work related, love related, think about the foundation. The stronger the foundation, the better chances that, if let's say it's your money and I come across a hiccup, but you started with this strong foundation, it can withstand that. It will withstand that. If nothing else, it's like your spiritual team is going to whisper like words of wisdom in your ear. It just may be time to add something new in. But, Seven of Pentacles is much like the wheel to me. Everything was meant to be destined. Even what you do in the world. Some of you may not feel that yet, but maybe you haven't moved into that. I feel like definitely a lot of natural healers. There are just a lot of natural healers on my channel. And, I'm happy about that. And some will eventually call themselves a healer. In what way? Well, whatever way serves you. Again, I feel like your interest will be piqued, and I feel like I just simply need to follow that. Even your intuition on if you feel like one day you maybe have a little extra time in your hand, I'm going to take a book. I'm going to go to a coffee shop. I'm going to, maybe look a little. I'm going to think about the way I look. Not that I feel like this is a type of love that's based on looks. I don't. But, it doesn't help if, well, I don't know, because now all of a sudden I'm feeling, but I love you natural. Like, I love it when you just look natural. So maybe you don't have to worry about that. I also feel for some of you that, whether you said this out loud or said it to yourself, that the importance of feeling independent was really important. Like maybe you had been codependent for a little while and it didn't feel good. King of Wands just jumped out. Oh, he didn't jump out, he flipped around. But what I was going to say is, I feel like as you yourself feel that you can take care of you, it's like I'm not looking for love for someone to take care of me financially, though I'm not going to say that the person coming in wouldn't be, let's just say, well off. Because the Emperor and the Empress, I feel both of them could be well off. Doesn't have to mean I have $1,000,000, but I can pay my bills. And what I do, that is also payment because I feel like it brings you a sense of comfort, a sense of, well, I feel like just loving to help, like you helping others to succeed, I feel like is reward enough. However, I feel like money also follows. So I feel like some of you are doing things from the love in your heart. And I don't know. I just did a short little podcast that talked about karma, good karma and bad karma. You should watch it. It's only 5 minutes long. Um, but I covered what I felt were the most important parts of karma. I don't know why I'm talking about karma right now. Anyways, we have the Queen of Wands and the King of Wands. We have the Emperor and the Empress. King of Wands is mirroring the Emperor. The Emperor is looking at judgment, but also connected to their intuition. So it's almost like the Emperor is like, when is the right time? I'm just waiting for your call. Well, that call's coming. Now, I meant a call from the Emperor's spiritual guides, but with the Ace of Swords, like, I don't know. I feel like if there's someone who, let's just say from back in the day that I think about a lot, I never think like we don't always have to wait for someone else. We could just reach out and just be like a little like, hey, just wondering how you doing. For some reason you popped up in my mind and I thought I'd give you a call just to see how you're doing. You never know what's going to happen. We have beautiful Knight of Pentacles. This is your guardian angel energy, mirroring the High Priestess and Temperance. This is another message that talks about timing. And this Knight tells you that I come at the right time. Not before, not after. I feel like, because this Knight brings a pentacle into your life, that's tangible. It means something is physically coming into your life. You can touch it. You can smell it. And I don't feel like it's a one-time thing. I feel like once I'm open to this type of energy, this is putting a lot of trust in your guides. But remember, this is about working hand in hand with your spiritual team. That's how you can have a successful life. Because often our guides will send us messages that can really help us, but it needs our action. Sometimes we listen, sometimes we don't. But to me, you must have listened or the Knight wouldn't have come in. Again, I come at the right time. Well, I feel like the ending of the Five of Swords and the Ten of Wands, that feels like the right time. Even this healing taking place, we have the Two of Wands, beautiful. So it's like this Knight. Remember, every Knight will complete their mission. This Knight, it is a slow-moving Knight, but it moves slow on purpose, right? I want to give you a chance to be the best version of you, and then watch what I bring in. It literally sets you on a new path, and it's of the Wands. I'll take it. This means, first of all, signs. Everywhere a sign, sign, everywhere a sign. This is action-oriented. So you do have to step upon this path. But yet, because the Knight of Pentacles is right before it, I feel there's no reason why you would not want to. And then we have the King of Pentacles. So interesting that we have some couples here. And I feel like it's just representing different people. Again, let's make sure we understand the Emperor and the Empress, I feel like, are of like utmost energy. These are two people who have learned so much from life. And they know what it's like to be down in the dumps. They know what it's like to lose a job. They know what it's like to lose a love. But it's how did they come back from it? They broke it down. They reflected upon it. They asked themselves, what does this teach me? How can I grow from this? How can I help others? In 2024, I predicted there was going to be a lot of spiritual awakenings, and some of them won't even know what to call it. Anyway, King and Queen, King and Queen, Emperor and Empress. Destiny, connected to the Lovers, with the Knight of Wands. The energy that it brings in, it just will be undeniable. Okay. So there's not one particular card I want to clarify. So instead, I'm going to go right down the middle. Just any other messages that want to come out, anything I might have missed. Sometimes I know a reading It sounds simple, like, oh, there's love. Oh, it's coming in. But don't forget that its timing, its divine timing, was due to the ending of something that literally was not serving you anymore anyway. But it needed you probably to end it, to recognize it, to say, I deserve more. And I'm not talking like egotistically. I'm just saying, you know it, you feel it. And your team is like, well, you are right. I mean, literally being celebrated for who you are. And I mean for who you truly are, not what you show others, just you. But then the creativity on this board is like off the charts. Hello, Empress again. Hello, Knight of Cups. Unexpected cup of love. Well, Mother Mary told us that. Unexpected cup of fulfillment. You know, it's one of those things you can't plan for, but when you're in the best version of you, you know, if you just think of the law of attraction, if I'm in, and I'm not saying perfect, because none of us will ever reach perfection. And we need to know that, right? But if I feel like I'm in the best version of myself, wow, it feels like the love that's meant to happen here. This isn't about a date. This is about a forevermore. Let's follow that night. Eight of Wands. What I think about, I bring about. This is the law of attraction. Interesting, I literally just spoke about it. What I think about, I bring about. This is also fast moving energy. It's also an eight, a new beginning. The Empress. Man, her in love, whoever gets her, they're lucky. Same with the Emperor. But not everyone can have them. It's just the way it is. Like, they will not accept low vibrational energy. That's why I feel like the Eight of Wands really is the law of attraction here. We have the Devil, card of Capricorn. And then look at this, your major arcana, the Star. Your hopes, your dreams, your wishes. Some of you, this literally can mean a Capricorn for you. We do have the King and the Queen of Pentacles. The only thing I want to say though is because I do feel like there may be a chance for some of you of someone making a repeat appearance. But this is not someone that well, you may think that you want. No, the Empress would know by now. She'd be like, I gave this too many chances, you know, too much of my time. So the Devil can represent illusionary energy. Well, I feel like you were in that energy, but you came out of it. How do I love that your major arcana just came out? And by the way, what's above it? Empress, divine timing. What's below it? Your guardian angel. I come at the right time. You have a wish, that's what I bring in. But there are requirements. And part of the requirements with the Knight of Pentacles is that you know who you are and that you know what you want. And I don't mean like if some of us are still stuck on someone who really treated us like shit, ask yourself, why would I want that back? Is it just because I'm lonely? Was there any substance? Am I wasting precious time by keeping my focus on something that feels like it was kind of hellish anyway? You have to know what you want. And I feel like understand why you want certain things. You know, this Knight of Cups, it's unexpected. And I do feel like it has nothing to do with the hardships that you've been through. This is about something new. Even if it's these 2 pages, even if it's something that was old, it would be showing as new again. You know, I say that with Sam and I. We hadn't been together for 40 years. So when he did reach out and call me, we had to get to know each other again. You know, I had no clue what he had done for 40 years. He had no clue what I had done. So, but you know, that was so romantic that I feel like don't skip that part. You know, let the romance be romantic. Like, allow yourself to be romanced, especially because I feel like what's coming in is of a high vibration. Remember the law of attraction, it must meet you right where you're at. So if my focus is still on someone who literally put all the weight of a relationship on my shoulders, but yet for some reason I'm still wanting them to come in, that's what this year is all about. That's what this full moon is about. This is a beautiful reading. And what beautiful potential it's showing. I feel like you have to know that you deserve it. Like some people feel like I will never find great love. Don't say those words. I will find great love. I don't know how. I don't know when. But I know it'll come into my life. Especially as I myself am doing what makes me feel good, following the passions that I have, creating success for yourself. You know, I feel like some of you, you've been busy doing other things. And then love enters the door. But boy, do I feel like you're ready. I even love the Four of Swords mirroring that Ten of Wands and the Five of Swords. So, whatever was, there is an opportunity to heal it and to let it go. If you so choose. All right, let's bring out. Let's bring out the clarifying love situations. Oh, okay. That card didn't. What was that, by the way? Six of Pentacles. That fine art of give and take. What has been fair what has been unfair. Okay, we're going to take them just the way they came out. We have laid to rest. Let go of lingering disputes and make peace together. Let go of lingering disputes and make peace together. Hello, Divine Union. Use the wings of empathy to bring love and harmony. Well, that's the one thing that I always say with the Emperor, the Empress, and the Emperor. That's one of the main energies they carry is empathy, compassion. Use the wings of empathy to bring love and harmony. Transformational. Oh, wow, that makes so much sense. Through learning shifts your perspective and evolve beyond limits. Through learning, shift your perspective and evolve beyond limits. So other words, it's saying that you have unlimited potential. Don't limit yourself. Don't think this is it. That's all. There ain't no more. But through learning is what allows you to shift your perspective. All right, let's bring out the romance angels. Give them a cut. Trust. The situation is calling for you to have faith. It's kind of like Temperance's message. The situation is calling for you to have faith, trust. You know, it's like put that trust out there and then do your thing and let the rest take care of itself. Ah, worth waiting for. Divine timing is at work in your love life. Divine timing is at work in your love life. This is exactly why this reading came out the way it did. Worth waiting for. Well, it's not the Five of Swords you're waiting for. It's the Lovers. Who, by the way, we're destined to be anyway. Doesn't guarantee us, right? Because we do have to say yes, or we have to say no. But I feel like what your spiritual team is doing is making sure that this chemistry that I feel that you will feel immediately. And it doesn't, and I'm not talking about the way someone looks. This is energetic. This is a feeling that I feel will be undeniable. You can try to deny it. Like, I feel like after you either reconnect with this person or meet this person, like I see you going home afterwards, closing your front door, taking your shoes off, sitting on the couch, and saying, holy shit. Holy shit. What just happened? What just happened? Destiny just happened. Divine timing just opened up the gate. What you've been waiting for. And by the way, I shouldn't have said it that way. Because I don't know that you've been waiting for it. But what this is telling you to trust in divine, because divine is working in your love life right now. That's why judgment is calling you to the present moment. This is probably why I did your reading today, because there seems to be a sense of urgency. And what I mean by that is judgment is not calling you 2 weeks from now, right? Today, right now, right here. So somewhere in all of this is like the roadmap to get you to your ultimate goals. You know, you have like real abundance in this reading. But I love the way this abundance is showing. It's showing through your creativity. It's showing through the things that interest you. And I also feel the experiences that you've overcome. Like, I do feel like I have more healers on this channel. Healers, Healers. I say that because I know my accent, sometimes people are picking up it as Hiller. I don't even know what that word is, but anyway, let's let that be. Let's let that be. Let's just read Mother Mary one more time. Truth. I am lovingly honest with myself and others, and love. Love is the answer to all of my questions. Not just romantic love, by the way, a love of what you do, a love for oneself, a love for your fellow man and woman. Remember the compassion and the empathy that both the emperor and the empress possess. And what do they want to do? They want to help lift other people. And by the way, I call them my power couple because I feel like in love, they are powerful. But I feel like in life, they are powerful. Separate, but you put them together. I mean, these two could collaborate and, huh, remember how I saw that Ten of Pentacles? And create true abundance, but together. All right, I'm going to let that be. Wow. Um, wow. I love you. I thank you. I hope this helped give you clarity. I'm going to ask you not to skip over the lessons because I do feel like the readings are like a roadmap. And, I feel like the end of the readings are like the silver lining, but you have to know how to get there. What's got to go? What can remain? How have you grown? Like evaluate yourself like you were a boss evaluating an employee. How have you grown? What have you learned? Are you using it to help others? Not that you have to, but I feel like that is a reward in itself. I do feel like money is definitely part of it, but I feel like a love of what I do. And my God, if you love what you do and then you connect to this love through the lovers and the wheel, wow, what a life that's going to be. I love you guys. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.